proof that buy and hold is the superior investment strategy. I'm going to prove it to you right here. It's actually so simple. When I share this with you, you'll be like, huh, why didn't I think about that? If you have thought about it, kudos to you. It never even hit me until about a couple weeks ago when I was doing another video on dividends. And I said, I want to extrapolate that some. Let's do that here today because it's so simplistic, and yet you're like, it completely makes sense. All right. So let's dive right into this. Welcome again to the Heritage Wealth Planning YouTube channel, the place you come to learn all kinds about financial planning, retirement planning, estate planning, taxes, investments. Get all your questions, answer the whole thing. So don't forget to subscribe. And of course, always, 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 always share the video. That helps me immensely. And then thumbs up, smash the thumbs up. All right. So I'm doing my research on the barbell investment strategy for retirement. And the one thing that jumped out at me was, frankly, the dividends and how much of a role, an integral role they play in a successful investment plan. There's just no other way around. I mean, I knew that going in. But the one thing, when it comes to buying hold, I'm going to share with you why it's just so important. All right. So what we're going to do. This is the rate of return of the markets here. So 1963, the S&P 500 is up 22.8. And you can see 1966 was down 10. 1973 and 74 is a big, pretty chaotic years up until about 2001 and 2. We didn't really have any huge market sell-offs until about 2001 and then again in 2002. The whole, from basically 1982 until 1999, the market was just on a tear. I think in 1977, down a little bit, 1981 down a little bit, and that was pretty much it. I mean, really from 1982, it was nuts. All right, so why am I doing 1963? Just because that's when I could get the 10-year Treasury yield without having to dig too deeply, and that's it. Now, on other videos, I'll show you the 10-year Treasury. This video doesn't matter. All right, so the rates of return actually don't matter either for the market. It just doesn't. I'm going to show you. All we care about is the dividend yield. So in 1963, the S&P 500 closed at 75. 75. What did it close at today? Or the end of 2018, 2506. I mean, 75, 2506. To get a gauge of, now look, there's more to this than just that right here. Like, oh, if you held it forever, you'd be rich. Look, I mean, that's a 33, it grew by 33 times. Not 33%, but 33 times, which is nuts when you think about it. But there's more to the story here. All right, so it closed at 75, now it closed at roughly 2,500. Had a yield of 3.07 back then. All right, so in 1963, at a $75 close, it had a yield of 3.07. What we do is we take the, let me show you what I'm talking about here. We take H2, which is our closing price, and we times it by 0.0307. Does that make sense? So you take 7502, 0.02, you times it by 0.0307, and you get a yield, a dividend yield, or the actual dividend amount, not yield, dividend amount of 2.4 or so, give or take. That's our dividend, is 2.4. All right, so basically we have that's the amount that we're getting per share. So if we owned 100 shares of the S&P 500, we're going to make $2.40 per share. So 2.40 times 100 would be 2.40, $240 if my calculator serves right, and it does. So we would receive $240 for 100 shares of the S&P 500. Does that make sense? I hope so. All right, so that's important because, again, we got 2.30% is the dividend that we're getting, the actual dollar amount. That would give us a yield of 3% that year, right? Because the market was closing at 75.02. You got to keep this in mind. All right, so your good old buddy Josh was born in 1970. Let's say I had 100 shares. My granddad gave me 100, which he didn't, but let's say he gave me 100 shares of S&P 500 at 92.15. Each share had a dividend. Now, back then, the yield was 3.49. All right, 3.49. Nothing fancy, but hey, there's nothing wrong with that. But a yield of 3.49 meant it gave $3.21 per share as a dividend. All right. So Grampy says, young Josh, I like you. Here's 100 shares of the S&P 500. I'm going to give to you. It costed him all of 100 times 92.06. It cost him all of $9,206. Back then, that's significantly more than it is today. But that's going to be the reason why this is such an important lesson for you. But I still, for $9,206, I got $300, $320 a year. That's how it works. You take 9,206 or 320, divide by 9,206, and there's your 3.4% dividend yield. That's exactly how it works, my friends. All right. So let's just say I did nothing with that. I just sat on it. Now I'm 48, going on 49 years old. Remember, I had 3.19 was my dividend I was receiving per share. That's the actual dollar amount per share on $92. You fast forward into today. Now today the dividends are, oops, I gotta go over. 1 second, I got the right thing there. It's 2.3, and that shouldn't be a percentage. Now, right now, it's 56.86 is the actual dividend on the S&P 500. All right, so 56. I don't know why I got the. Hold on just a second. I don't know why I got the percentage there. I got to figure out this. Still the Mac, man. I just got used to it. There it is. So we want I right there. Hold on just a second. We want 52. There it is. 52.393 I'm getting on the S&P 500. So for every 100 shares, I get $52.39. You with me so far? So again, I got 100 shares of the S&P 500. I'm getting $52.39 per share, which means 52.393 divided by, times 100 shares, I'm getting 52.393. Oops. 52.393 times 100 shares. I'm getting $5,239 for my 100 shares. How much do those 100 shares cost me? Well, let's go back to my initial price in 1970. It cost me $9,215. So we take our dividend that we're receiving, $5,239, divide that by 9,215, which is my total cost for the shares, and my yield is, you ready? 57%. I'm getting a 57% dividend yield, because all that matters when it comes to dividend yield is the price I paid. It has nothing to do with a 2.09% dividend yield today. That's the only thing that matters in that 2.09 is if I bought those 100 shares today. Now people say, but Josh, what if you reinvested the dividends? Yes, that's true. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what I bought my initial price at, which is, what do we say, $9,200, and then how much I'm getting as a dividend on those 100 shares. And I'm getting now $5,239 on a price that cost me $9,200. So for me, having bought this when I was 48 years old, my grandpa gave it to me, I'm getting a 56.8% dividend yield on my 100 shares. Why would you ever sell that? Literally, why? If I said to you, I can give you a stock that pays you a 56.8% dividend yield today with a PE ratio of, 18 forward earnings projections, you would buy that like you wouldn't believe. What would you pay for it? You'd pay $25.06 for that. Literally, you would. You'd pay $25.06 for that same thing. You'd say, I am buying that like crazy. And then I'd say, but I only paid, what did I pay? $75 or something. What did we pay in 1970? I forgot what I said. $92, something like that. 1970. Yeah, $92. And you'd pay $2,500 because you're like, man, I am willing to get a dividend of in this case, the dividend pays out $52. You're willing to get $52 of dividends for a price. This is the price you're willing to pay, $2,500. I'm like, but I'm getting the $52 of dividends, but I only paid $92 or whatever it was, or 52, whatever. I think it was $92. That's it. That's the power of buy and hold. Now look at this. If I bought in 2000, so right before the market chaos of 2001 and 2 in the market, so I bought on the high end of 2000, I am still getting almost double the dividends I did in 2000 as today. I'm getting a 3.9% dividend yield because I bought in 2000. I think I can use this thing. So I bought in 2000. Right back in 2000, the dividend yield in the S&P 500 was all of 1.22. I bought in 2000. I was getting $16 a share. So I paid 100 shares at 100 times 1320. So I paid $132,000 for the S&P 500 because each share costs $1,320, and I got $16 per share. So $1,600 per share times $16 per share. Times 100 shares. Right, there you go. That's $16 times 100. That's $1,600 that I got as a dividend. I got $1,600 on my 100 shares, and then we divide that by the price, divided by 132,000, and so that's my dividend yield right there, 1.22 exactly. But the facts are, because I held those shares, and I'm telling you, because I held them, and I'm still getting. Now I'm getting a dividend of I'm getting $5,200, $5,239 on a stock that I paid $1,300 for. So 5,239 divided by 132,000, my dividend yield is 3.9%. Right here, 3.9, which is almost twice that if I would have bought those 100 shares today. I hope that makes sense. Now, if I bought in 2008, right after the market crash, my dividend yield is 5.8. The same thing, because I bought, the market was down, way down, so I was able to buy cheap shares. But even if I bought in 2007, again, right before the market crash, my dividend yield is 3.57, which again is almost, not quite twice, but if I bought in 2008, my dividend yield is almost 3 times what it is if I bought today. If I bought in 2007, my dividend yield is about, that's about 66% more than what it is today. If I bought in 1990, I'm getting a 15.8% dividend yield. Again, if someone says, I will give you a stock that gives you a 15.87% dividend yield with a price to earnings ratio of 18, you would, no way would you say, I'm selling that. No way. It's just because you held it. But that's exactly what the S&P 500 is doing for someone who bought in 1990. For someone who bought in 2007, he's getting 3.5%. 3.5% for an 18 PE. For someone who bought in 2008, he's getting 5.8% for an 18 PE. For someone who bought in 2000, he's getting 3.9% as a dividend yield for an 18 PE. And finally, for someone who bought it the day I was born, he's getting 57% dividend yield for an 18 PE. Buy and hold. Now, listen, if you sell this sucker because you're so worried about the market, and then turn around and buy it again the very next day, you just sacrifice those dividend yields you get. You no longer get. Now you're going to make it up on capital gain. I get that. But if you sell that, you are sacrificing a huge dividend yield. You're going to get now 2.09%. So why would you sell it? You're saying, I'm getting this huge fat dividend yield with an 18 PE. Oh, but the market might go down. Yeah, so my dividend yield will go up at that point. But either way, I'm still getting the $52 on the 100 shares I have. But Josh could buy more shares. Oh, okay, I get that, but I'm still sacrificing a 56.86% dividend yield for 2.09. That's just a fact. So why would you get? But if you think about it, in the long term, I'm getting a 56.86% dividend yield with a PE of 18, regardless of Trump or Obama or Bernie or Mike Pence or whatever you think about the world, regardless of all the naysayers, we're going to a recession, the inverted yield curve, regardless of all this stuff. If I said you could get a 56% dividend yield with an 18 PE on a basket of the largest companies in America, you would eat that up. You would eat that up. But that's what you're getting if you would have bought this in 1970. Now, if you bought it in 1990, you're getting a 15.87%. If you bought it in 2000, you're getting a 4% royalty. So why sell? Doesn't make sense unless you have to get the money to pay off a mortgage or something like that. But anyway, I hope this helps. I find this to be incredibly, incredibly interesting. And this is just a new thing, a new phenomenon that hit me. It's like, we're looking at dividend yield as if that's what I'm getting today, as if that's what I've been getting for the last 10, 15, 20 years. I haven't. I've been getting more than that. I even did this thing. In 1970, in 2017, I was getting a 53% dividend yield because I was getting $49 of my 100 shares, per share for my 100 shares. And in 2017, I was getting a 49.32% dividend yield because I was getting $45 for my 100 shares. It's just the way it works, man. Anyway, so here's a 2008 to 2000 thing right there. Look, 2007, kaboom, it fell off a cliff. And everyone's like, oh my goodness, it still paid $22 per share. I was still getting $22 per share on my 100 shares that I got, even after a significant market chaos. But you're only getting 2.02 over here. That's if I buy today. I didn't buy today. I bought in 1970. I hope this helps, man, because if you look at the growth potential of stocks, is dividend yield plus earning growth year over year. Dividend yield right now depends on when you buy it. Someone buys it today, he's getting 2.09%. If someone bought it in 1970, he's getting 56%. Does that make sense? Buy and hold is the only way to do this. The only way. All right, we'll see you next time.